Our first brand is MDPen. Like I mentioned, such a amazing technology that some of you may have utilized or experienced within spa or dermatology offices that our esthetician community has worked in. And this is going to be an eye-opener for those who may need a little bit more of a deep dive into what truly microneedling is or the technologies used by MDPen. Please check out our previous Education 101 that is all about introduction into microneedling. It is in the video archive on the update stream, and it just happened last week. So we won't dive deeply into everything about microneedling because we're focusing at some of the pre and after care products. With all that said, let's learn a little bit about the emotion of the brand and get into it.
I got this feeling like it's starting now, starting now. I feel adventurous with you. And there is nothing that can hold us back, hold us back. We can do what we want to do. Cause we got all the time in the world, for better or worse, we should stay together. So let's stay young and in love, we should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you.
So we are joined by two amazing experts from MDPen today. I would like to welcome Carmen, the amazing marketing director for MDPen, and Alex, our licensed esthetician, master microneedler, and trainer for MDPen. Welcome into our masterclass, you two.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
Morning, everyone. So our experts have a lot of questions, and thank you so much for connecting with us in our Education 101. We really learned a lot about the truth of professional microneedling, some of the do's and don'ts, and we really learned a lot. So very excited. If anybody missed that, go check it out. But first, I want to bring on Carmen. Carmen, you have such a legacy with this brand, and we're going to get into the before and afters, and oh my goodness, how amazing some of these treatments really perform, not just for the face, but for the hair, for stretch marks. Oh my gosh, you blew my mind when I saw some of the things that this true microneedling can do. So as we start off, I would love to hear just a little bit about maybe the history and legacy of MDPen, if you want to take it away.
All right. Well, it's so great to be with you guys this morning. And as you said, microneedling is really, it's phenomenal what it can do, what it helps the body to do, really. And it's really just a way to get the body back in gear, back producing that collagen and elastin, and get the skin looking fresh and new. We started offering microneedling devices in 2013. Before that, we were selling other medical aesthetic devices, primarily liposuction devices. But as we all know, something kind of happened there in 2013 or 14, I think, when Kim Kardashian had that microneedling treatment, and the whole world got really interested in it. And it became something that we wanted to see what we could bring to the table by manufacturing our own device. And shortly after offering the device, we started also offering the complementary skincare to go along with the treatments. We had our skincare tested to be used on the skin before and after treatment. And so that's sort of how we started with 4 SKUs. And then we slowly over time grew the skincare line to include all the other sort of products that you need to round out a really well-formed skincare regimen, with cleansers all the way through to your SPFs and your night creams. And we have a growth factor product, and Alex will talk about some of that. So we built our promise, as it says here, our brand on the promise that we really wanted to help our practitioners get great results. And that's why we decided to introduce the skincare, because you couldn't really get your patients all the way to the results that they wanted without proper home regimen, without really high quality skincare to use also during the treatment. So, great results with the best device. We offer lots and lots of training, lots of different kinds of training. We really believe in training our practitioners. And then, of course, the skincare. So that's sort of how we grew the brand over time.
Something I definitely want to point out is not only are you a creator of these amazing tools and the products we're going to dive into, you also are an education platform, just like Beautytap. And for anybody in our community, we know that's very important to the beauty expert. So after, I'm going to bring you back towards the end, and we're going to talk about ways that our experts can continue education or learn from MDPen, maybe if they want to better their career with microneedling classes from MDPen. So we're going to hear a little bit more about that. So thank you so much, Carmen. But let's get into it, what microneedling really is. We are not going to spend a lot of time here because there's a whole hour lesson in our Education 101 of diving into what this is. But I'm going to bring Alex on. Alex, you do these treatments to the clients. Just like I see in the chat function, Miranda says she's been doing it for 8+ years and the benefits are incredible. But please, just for those who maybe missed a little bit, tell me a little bit of what microneedling actually is, just in a quick overhead. Take it away, Alex.
Okay, so microneedling is basically the most modernized form of collagen induction therapy. It is creating basically thousands of tiny injuries to the skin. And what this does is it wakes up the skin to produce collagen. So no matter what the issue is that you're treating, that's what we're doing. We're stimulating and producing new collagen and elastin. And this is what helps lift and plump the skin. The microchannels are how you're able to infuse the serums, growth factors, PRP, whatever it is that you're using that you want. It basically creates a channel to be able to use those products.
One thing you really emphasized for me on the previous class is the actual treatment of microneedling, creating those channels, does so much of the work, where I think there's a misconception in the industry that microneedling is to better just a product, basically make product more absorbable. And you really taught like, no, it's stimulating your skin, tricking your skin basically to thinking it's damaged, and then inducing that collagen production and other internal recreations of the good stuff we want. So it's not just let me poke myself and do a vitamin C serum. Actually, the opposite. Let's do the poking, the microneedling the right way. And the after treatment is more to support the actual treatment. So thank you for teaching me something I didn't know last time. Who is microneedling for? You as a practitioner, who do you suggest it for and for what?
Yes, so microneedling is for almost anyone. There's very few contraindications. We do start losing collagen at age 25. So, anyone over age 25, but you do have people before that age that may have acne scars, textural issues, other things going on. Obviously great for anti-aging, tone, texture, fine lines, wrinkles, skin that is lax. We also use it for scarring, not just acne scars, but also stretch marks, surgical scars, and of course, mild hyperpigmentation, melasma, and also for hair restoration.
We're going to see some before and afters for that in a second. So I was blown away with that for sure. For those who did not attend our Education 101, can you give just a very quick overview of what actually happens in a treatment without diving too deep? Because we already dove into that in our Education 101.
Absolutely. So of course, the face is cleansed. You want the patient or client to be as comfortable as possible. You are going to numb them for at least half an hour. When you go to prep the skin, not only do you cleanse off the numbing, it's important to use alcohol, followed by the HA copper mist, which I will be talking about. A full face should take you around 20 minutes to treat if you are treating a face. And if you are interested, of course, in our training, MDPen does have our own technique that we do teach as far as the treatment goes. Of course, once you've done the treatment, as I said, you've created those microchannels, and that's when you're able, to apply whatever product, PRP, growth factor that you are using.
Any major difference from treating the face to the hair to the body, or is it around the same process, just a little different length and time?
Around the same process. There's a couple, different products that we might recommend. It's really based on the size of a surface area. So if you're doing a body treatment that's equivalent to the size of, 2 faces, it may take a little bit longer. With that being said, I find the body can sometimes be, a fast treatment because you're not working with as many curves and delicate areas such as the face.
Beautiful. I know I can tell when we get into our Q&A, I'm going to have a lot of questions about depth and needle size and things like that. So I'm sure we'll answer a little bit of that. But after I get my treatment done, after I've gone through this process, I think a lot of our experts have different conceptions of what the skin looks like. What should I expect after a micro needling treatment from MDPen?
So a good treatment should be thorough. It should be consistent. You see in that after photo, you have that kind of all over sunburnt look. This is completely normal. Typically, the more fair you are, the more red you may get, however, but you do want that consistent erythema. When it looks blotchy, or if you see, it looks like a checkerboard track marks, that's not a good treatment. You really do want that all over red look with nothing being skipped. And that's why we do train the way that we do as far as how to do the treatment without missing any areas.
We answered this question in our Education 101, but I think it has good value for anybody afraid possibly of microneedling. Do I bleed? Is it a bloody mess? What am I, does that happen, or is the redness what I expect?
It's not meant to be a bloody mess. Absolutely no. It should not be. To get a good treatment, a basic anti-aging treatment is done at a 0.5 millimeter depth. So there's really not pinpoint bleeding. You can have pinpoint bleeding during the treatment, but in that after photo, they have used a 4x4 or gauze. They've moisturized the area, maybe used saline and wiped it away. So most clients and patients don't leave with blood on their faces, and pinpoint bleeding is not always necessary, no.
I think we can blame the Kim Kardashian vampire facial images where we see so many people with red during microneedling, but that's actually what you're putting on, which we can dive into in our Q&A. But nothing to fear, guys, especially when you're doing it professionally and with the right tools. There's a lot of, gently said, incorrect tools that may be used out there. Don't always trust everything you find on Amazon, right? Talk to an expert like Alex. Okay, let's get into how many treatments should I expect to need for different issues? Is there certain time frames or expectations?
Sure. So a basic anti-aging series is usually 3 to 4 treatments. And you want them to be done at about 28 days or 4 to 6 weeks apart. Hair restoration may be 6 to 9 weeks. The number of treatments is based on the severity of what you are treating. So for example, this photo, we do have someone with boxcar type scarring, maybe ice pick in there as well. And this is after 3 treatments. So this is a patient or client that I personally would have, said to them that they would need 6 treatments. So this is pretty amazing for just 3 treatments later. But it does really just depend on the severity of what you are treating. And of course, it's always better to under promise and then have them blown away at 3 treatments.
And these pictures are amazing because like here we see the texture, but then with this, the hair. So what can I expect with doing hair treatments? I also have a question in the chat function. Can I do it in the brow area too? So what's up with the microneedling for hair growth?
Sure. So microneedling can treat most types of hair restoration. This tends to be a longer series. It is typically done, under the discretion of a physician. PRP is often used with hair restoration treatment, and typically there is some injecting done in there as well. That's not to take away from microneedling for it. These are just usually combined therapies as well as at-home treatments. This is after 3 treatments. This is really impressive. When people are quoted a number of treatments for hair restoration, it's usually upwards with 9 to 12. So this is pretty amazing here. And typically a stamping technique is done, but you can do tracing for certain types of hair restoration. But that's what you're seeing here after 3 treatments, all of that hair growth.
And then so many of our experts know of it for the face and maybe have heard of it for the hair. It really blew my mind with the hair. But then, like, look at this. This is the body, which we don't think about for stretch marks, things like that. This isn't getting into the deeper levels as much, but there's amazing benefits here. What do you see the use of this for the body?
Absolutely. So again, anywhere where you can produce collagen, wake up the skin to build collagen. When we think of a stretch mark, it is really a divoted scar within the skin. So you're treating that whole area basically as a grid. You're not only stimulating the scarring and skin at the stretch mark, but also the skin around it. This is someone that was probably quoted 6 to 8 treatments. This is after 3 treatments. So really impressive here with stretch marks.
So we've got to see some amazing before and after, and there are some questions in the chat we'll get to for different specific areas. But I think when we're seeing that scar, that texture, that this has so much benefits for that. Deeper issues, maybe we'll dive into veins and things like that. Not as much, but I'll leave that to Alex to answer in our Q&A. Before we get there, though, let's talk about our featured product today. So these products are not just a skincare line that's there, like many brands do. This is a line specifically for pre, post, and in between treatments with the MDPen and microneedling. So give us a little bit about what MDPen's mindset is when creating this line, and then we're going to get into our featured product, the Copper and HA Mist.
Absolutely. So with MDPen, we have always planned on having a small SKU of products. They are all clinically evaluated to be used with microneedling. Our products are all cruelty-free, organic, vegan, paraben-free, sulfate-free, gluten-free. So we really wanted to have products that could not cause things such as irritation, and also just really help the skin and be used during those treatments, as well as retailed to clients post-procedure. And these are science-backed effective ingredients as well.
For me, I've actually, I can't believe I have gone through the whole mist already, but I am, as our experts know, a junkie for mist for sure. And for me, I deal with deep dehydration, inflammation from environment, especially when there's more pollen in the air or the sun. I'm a vampire, so sun extremely irritates my skin. So you see me with, I'm that person with an umbrella at the beach. So I have loved this mist. It is lightweight, doesn't leave residue. And in our Education 101, you really showed me that I could use it for so many things, but I'm not going to take away that thunder. I'll hand it to you. Tell me a little bit about the core ingredients found in the Copper and HA Mist, Alex.
Sure. So this is a pro-enzyme trio, and it contains trace elements that are found in the body, such as copper, zinc, and magnesium peptides. It's combined with hyaluronic acid. As Johnny said, this is an actual moisturizer, even though it is a mist. And what we do is we basically have combined the copper with a fermented yeast that is bioavailable. And what we then did was removed the yeast to make the copper peptide such a low molecular weight that it could be used in the form of a mist, if that makes sense. So this product is not only used during treatment, it's actually used also as home care and in many ways, which I will get into. But basically, this is one of our 4 original products. in my mind, it's very original. Most copper products that you do see are few and far between, and they're usually in the form of a serum. So this product is very unique.
So I had to run off camera because I noticed the mist I have in front of me is the one I've literally went through. So I had to grab another one. And just a fun little note, I will thank MDPen for giving our experts the cutest little bag and info sheet. So guys, you're getting like quadruple educated and pampered with MDPen. So I just wanted to note that. But one thing I love, and it's the little things that make you so happy. Don't ask me why I'm talking about this, but I love that it's a fine, I don't know if you're going to see this. You're probably not going to see this, but it's a fine mist that just goes so evenly, especially for our estheticians who are very close proximity to, the client. You don't want too much or too little. So thank you so much for paying attention to that in a component in packaging. But tell me, when should I mist? As a personal use product or as an expert in treatment, when should I actually be using this bad boy right here?
Absolutely. So we do use this mist before and after every microneedling treatment. That copper pro enzyme is anti-inflammatory and also has antimicrobial properties. So using it at the beginning of the treatment and also at the end really protects, heals the skin, nourishes it, calms it down, all of those things. This product is also great for home use. It is, as you can see, hands-free in the sense that you do not have to touch your face when using this product. You can just close your eyes and mist it right on. It can be used in the form of almost like a toner. So after you cleanse, you can immediately use this product. It is great for shaving and also just for setting your makeup. Also, it can remove makeup and also be used just as a hydration as desired. I find it's great for people that are outdoor runners or going to the gym. You can definitely carry this in your gym bag if you're not able to immediately, cleanse your face after sweating or working out. This is kind of the next best thing that you can do. And it just feels really great. During the summer, I really stressed, that people bring this everywhere, bring it to theme parks, I keep one in the center console of my car. So just a really great overall product to be used. Great for teenagers. They seem to be more compliant with using a mist than, a cream or a serum. And also men, they tend to like the lighter products. So great product for that as well.
For my personal recap, because I have two experts here that are about to try this. Those who will use this in a treatment room or for treatments, and those who will use this more as a consumer product. So estheticians, this is great in the wipe down. This is great in the balance and cleanse step. This is great in the post step to clean off residue of mask, maybe a mask that dried, a mask that has residual residue, and something that could easily be given to a client for going home treatment after a deeper, aggressive treatment that their skin is inflamed. Because it is very simple ingredients, no additional junk, right? There's no additional need of fragrance or things like that. It's extremely calming with the copper, but for the consumer or maybe as hairstylists, maybe our makeup artists who may not be using this in a treatment per se, it is beautiful for on-the-go mist. But let's point out, it's not just a mist. It really helps fortify the skin. It protects the skin. You hit on makeup setting. I'm very picky with makeup setting sprays. I think most of them are just hairspray in a pretty bottle, if I want to be honest. But this will not add additional occlusives that mess up the makeup. Makeup will set beautifully on this. Setting it's beautiful. It's not crunchy. It's not hard. And also now that we're getting back on set or we're going on location for events, if you have a client who is inflamed because we all have that bride we've done makeup for who decided to get a facial peel a week before her wedding, this is a beautiful thing to have in your kit, no matter who you are. Hairstylist, imagine if you did beautiful hair or someone's in the dryer or someone's waiting for that toner to do its job. And you're like, let me just give you a refresher, do a little mask, wipe it off and do this. Oh my God, they love you. So those are my 2, 3, and 4 cents I just had to throw there. But with that said, experts, Did you learn a lot, or are you ready to ask questions to learn more? So, experts, here's the call to action. If you have a question, which actually I do have a lot of questions in chat right now, so beautiful, we have a lot of questions, but if you have more, please throw them into the chat function right now. Be very specific, or I'll skip over if I can't tell what you're asking, and throw that question there. You also have the function to raise your hand. That is a Zoom function, raising your hand. And if you raise your hand, keep it to a simple one question because of time, okay? So I'm going to ask a question from a lot of experts in the chat, and then I'll get to some of you who are raising your hand. So, Alex, there was a lot of questions about pain. How much does it hurt? Personally, for me, I've done upwards to a 1.5 of diameter or of length of a needle, and it just feels a bit like a kitty cat scratch. It feels a little bit like a sunburn for me personally, but everybody's different, right? Any thoughts you have about pain threshold, especially for the deeper treatments that use the deeper needles?
Absolutely. So you may have a high pain threshold, Johnny. With MDPen, we actually are the most powerful microneedling device on the market. In my opinion, it's just plain cruel to treat someone with our device without numbing unless you are at a very low millimeter setting. Our RPM speed is upwards to 18,500. So if that means anything to any of you, you kind of know how strong that is. So you're getting so many injuries within, 1 square inch of the skin. You do want to numb the skin, and it doesn't always have to be a prescription strength numbing. We do retail our own BLT with MDPen that estheticians can purchase if you're not able, to get prescription strength numbing through a physician. But I do always recommend numbing. You want to do at least half an hour, even if the patient says, oh my gosh, my lips are numb and it's only been 10 minutes. Well, guess what? Those nerves absorb the numbing much faster. It does not mean that they are numb down to the dermal layer. So do wait that half hour. Don't be rushed with numbing your client or patient.
Thank you for setting our minds at ease there. And for those who didn't see Education 101, please, I'm going to emphasize again, because there is a humongous difference between at-home rollers compared to the MDPen or professional level microneedling tools. And there is a humongous difference. And Alex, you did a great job explaining it. So we won't spend time with that today. So I'm going to bring on our first expert. So Tiffany Edwards, feel free to unmute yourself and ask that single question to the MDPen team.
This is some phenomenal information. Hey, Johnny. Hey, MD team. My question is that you sort of somewhat touched on it about the pain tolerance, but I also want to go look deeper in that because I hate needles, but I'm really interested in this and I want to really do it. Do you have it where it can be specialized just for the eye area, the crow's feet, or that area that starts to show the aging first and smile lines, or do you have to do the whole face?
Absolutely. So for those of you that are laser technicians or do IPL, I kind of compare it to that. It's kind of like zapping a few places for hyperpigmentation, but leaving the entire face. As being a provider, your cost is basically going to be the same, whether you treat the full face or just the eye area. So when I can, I really try to always convince the client or patient to do their entire face. That's not to be said that you can't just do the eye area. One thing too, if you're really nervous, what we have as well is a refined needle, which is a nano, and this is going to have 160 needles. This does not require numbing, and it's a great way to get more of like an immediate plumping result for that eye area and also for the lips. You can even use both cartridges during the treatment, but yes, you can definitely treat with our 12 needle, which is the standard for, a vampire facial or microneedling. You can go all throughout the infraorbital area, the crow's feet, and then along the brow bone as well.
Yay! Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I'm going to meet, there you go. Next, I have Jessica S. What's going on? What's your single question for Alex? Hi. Did we get you, Jessica?
Hello,
How's it going?
everybody.
There she is.
Yeah.
Hi.
What's your question, Jessica?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Or maybe not. Okay, Jessica.
Can you
okay,
hear me?
I can hear you. Maybe we can't hear you, Jessica. So,
Okay. So, oh, I'll type it in the chat.
okay, throw that in the chat, Jessica. I'm going to put you on mute, and then we'll just get your question answered, okay? Okay, Desiree, let's finish up this round, and then we'll answer the few last questions in the chat function. What question do you have, Desiree?
Hi guys, I just had a question because I wouldn't be using this as a esthetician. I am not into dermaneedling, but I would be using this as a toner. So are there any ingredients that I should look out for that shouldn't be used with zinc or copper?
That's a great question. And I wanted to actually go back to this. For treatment pairings as well, this product is amazing if you do chemical peels, microderm, dermaplane, post-injectables, basically anything. As far as your question with ingredients, there's nothing that will necessarily cause a reaction by combining it. However, with that being said, things like alpha hydroxy acids, retinols, what it will do is kind of take away from the elements. So they're probably not ingredients that you want to necessarily combine. Another thing I have heard, and you can use your own discretion with this, is I've heard not to wear copper under an LED light. I've never personally seen a reaction with it. I haven't done it. But that's one thing a few estheticians had told me on a Facebook Live chat, that they'd heard not to do the copper under LED.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Desiree. So a few questions I have in the chat to round this up is, with the mist, is it a put on, wipe off, or just leave on kind of product? Are there any do's and don'ts for application of the copper HA mist?
So you'll definitely get more bang for your buck just leaving it on when you missed it. With that being said, I definitely at the end of a treatment to get off, let's say I did some stamping over acne scars and had some dried blood, you definitely could mist it and then swipe with your 4x4. And that's how you get your, client or patient without leaving with that real bloody face. You can also definitely massage it into the skin. It does have a slightly thicker consistency because of the HA. So you definitely could also massage it around as well. But as far as home care use, it's kind of like using a piece of cotton with a toner. You're losing a lot of the product anytime you do that. So just something to think about.
The next question I have is, our estheticians know the answer to this in a second, but I'm asking this for some of us who may not be in skin world and for those who are very excited with benefits we see from this kind of treatment. The question is, if we're doing like radio frequency or we're doing a facial peel or some other treatment that has affected our skin a little bit more than skincare, should I be avoiding the needling, or are there any particular treatments that we should have a big gap of time in between doing a MDPen or just general microneedling treatment?
Sure, very loaded question. If you work under a physician, this needs to definitely be at their discretion. If you are doing Jesner peels, 18% TCA, things like that, you want to wait a month. You can definitely space them out about a month apart. IPL would also be probably 4 weeks to a month. What I like to do, if you do want to be able to do a treatment in between the 4-week mark with your microneedling series, is have the patient come 2 weeks after for a dermaplane and maybe a real gentle facial. If you have someone that's just starting out with microneedling that has a lot of congestion, I would definitely do some type of deep pore facial or device facial like a week before, even a couple of days before, is far less purging. But definitely the more, things like peels and lasers, you do need that time to heal for sure. And there's videos on that on the Facebook Live that are saved, also on injectables, how you can wait if you do need to do them in between treatments, how to go about that.
Okay, got me back there. Okay, and my last question is, we saw in those before and after pictures, there was a lot of benefit for texture, surface texture, and a little bit deeper texture. But is there anything that you have people come to you say, I want to do microneedling for this, and you say it's not going to help, it's not for that? I have questions in the chats for apparent veins, broken blood capillaries, deep dark brown scars. Is there anything that it's not per se the way you would go as an esthetician? Because we heard all the beautiful stuff it does do.
Absolutely. So this is a common question or concern. Some broken capillaries, as we know as estheticians, can heal themselves over time. If someone has actual telangiectasia, spider veins, things like this, they really want to go more towards a laser treatment, photofacial or IPL. That's not to say that some erythema can be corrected with microneedling, but if that is someone's main concern, it is not the go-to treatment. But hopefully, yes, in some cases, the capillaries can, rejuvenate themselves. For someone whose only concern is pigmentation, you really want them to be compliant at home with, hydroquinone, kojic acid, whatever they're using to lighten, because the microchannels will help with the product. But if they are just doing microneedling treatments with HA, and that's all they're doing for their melasma or hyperpigmentation, they're going to have very superficial results. So what you can do to make them a little bit more happy is start out their series with one of those peels. If you are able to do one of those more medium depth peels, just to get them some instant gratification for their pigment, and then continue with that microneedling series.
Beautiful experts. There are other questions in the chat, but we only have so much time. So 2 things for you to do. 1, go watch Education 101 if you haven't, because we talk about needle depth. We talk about what products to use in conjunction and not use in conjunction. We talk a little bit deeper on each use case. So please go check that out. If you have a burning question we did not answer, please email me, or actually MDPen. I do believe your email actually is at the end of this, which we don't always do. So please email MDPen or education@beautytap.com, my email, and I will get your question answered. There's only so much time in a masterclass. Okay, so I thank you so much for answering those questions, Alex. We are finished with that Q&A time. And with that said, a lot of you were asking about the classes. Carmen, I'm going to hand this to you quickly. Can you just tell us what MDPen offers in some of these digital classes? I know you're on Facebook Live a lot. Tell me a little bit about your furthered education.
Yeah, really quick. I know we're running close on time, but the slide kind of gives you some of the links. We do offer virtual classes. So, through Zoom, very much like the setup here with a trainer, an educator like Alex, who would be talking to you through the Zoom and doing demonstrations and talking to you about your technique and giving you training on your device. And that comes with your product purchase. You get it for free with your device purchase. But we also offer it to people who maybe don't use our device, but do microneedle with other devices. And then, as you mentioned, on Facebook, we're live twice a week. Alex is actually our Facebook educator. She's on there twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And she covers just a wealth of topics and takes questions live, when she's on live, takes the comments for questions there as well. We do offer some in-person training. We have sort of started doing that again. We have some trainings that we offer locally here in our Atlanta headquarters. We have people come in to be trained. We also have some educators who do travel and can come to your location to train you in your office. We aren't currently doing our group classes like you see in some of the video here. We really love doing our live workshops, and we did them all over the country, but that's sort of on hold while group activities are not really good to do right now. So we're just waiting until it's a better time for that. But those are some of our training options that we offer.
And I will put all this information with clickable links and this QR code into our app. So experts, you will get to have that for you. So don't worry if you're trying to write down a long URL. And I will also put MDPen. You can contact them. You can directly hit them up on Instagram, or here you go. You can call them directly. I'll put this information into my post. I'll do it on the shout out feeds of our app so you can connect with MDPen either about the tool or the classes. And please, if any of our experts get out there and get to these classes, I want to hear from you. I might tack along here. With that said, thank you so much, Carmen. Thank you so much, Alex. You both are a wealth of knowledge, and our experts are so excited to not only experience some of your skincare, but learn more about microneedling. Any quick final notes you got to throw out to our community?
Thanks so much for all your questions, guys. It was really great. I was watching them in the chat. I look forward to getting some of those from you. Really appreciate being with you guys.
And yes, the product does come in 2 sizes. It's a 1 ounce and a 4 ounce. If you think you're going to blow through it, definitely get the 4 ounce.
Give me the gallon. Give me the gallon size, guys. Experts, we have